All right, thank you for joining me back at the demo table. We are ready to move on to our color demonstration in our sketchbooks for Block 2, Week 1, where we are starting our exploration of color. You made it through my entire color spiel, right? Seems like a lot. You're like, oh my gosh, Ms. Kowski, you're laying it on really thick. But you're going to be hearing all those words, so it's important that you know what they are. So my second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade, you're all doing the same thing here. So you're going to open up your sketchbook to the page that looks like this. Remember, today we are working with color. So we are not going to worry about value, line, texture, shape, form, or space. We're only worried about color. All right, so we are going to be filling in our word color at the top since that's what we are working with. Now you can fill that in any way you want. When I was doing my demo for my kindergarten and first grade class, I will show you that here. I colored it in with rainbow colors. You can color it in however you want, as long as you're coloring in the color section. Now, as I color this in, I'm going to be reading to you the definition of color. You're like, Ms. Kowski, I know what a color is. It's those brightened things that I see with my eyeballs. Well, this definition of color might be a little tricky. It says, color is the element of art that is produced by light reflecting off of objects. Yeah, what? Yeah, it is only created by light, which is why when you turn out the lights, everything gets dark, right? There's no light, there's no color. Even if it's not very bright, if it's a super dim light and there's still a little light, you're going to notice that you're still going to have a difficult time picking out that red t-shirt versus that orange t-shirt. So, or even versus a blue t-shirt. So you can color your color however you want. I'm just doing a little color blending here with some overlapping. Okay. My element of color for this week is filled in. I'm ready to move on to my color wheel. Okay, your color wheel is completely blank, but you're going to notice that there are those larger and smaller pizza slices, just like we talked about before. Now, I don't want you to use markers on your color wheel. And the reason for that is because markers are going to bleed through. And if the markers bleed through, they're going to mess up the page before it. You're not going to be able to read those words anymore. So instead, on your color wheel page, please stick with either crayons, colored pencils, tempera paint sticks, or something that's not going to bleed through the paper. I'm going to work with the tempera paint sticks. Okay, I've got my bucket right here. You can start with any color you want, but since we've been talking about them in rainbow order, I'm going to start with red, our R in Roy. And I'm just going to fill that in. There we go. Now the next one says red orange. I'm looking in my paint stick bucket and nowhere do I see a red orange. They don't come in that color. You've got some options. If you've got a fancy crayon box with a lot of crayon colors in it, you could go in there and grab your red orange. It even says it for you on the label, right? Red orange, easy peasy. Or if you want to get fancy, you can try mixing colors together, like I did when I did my label for color by using red and orange. Or you can try it with any other material. Since I have this handy red orange right here, I'm just going to fill it in with a crayon. So you don't have to even do it with all the same art material. You can switch it up with whatever you have, as long as it's not a marker. Next one is orange. Well, that one I do have in my hand. I'm holding it right now, so I might as well just use it.
Remember, you can always pause the video and work along with me so that you don't have to watch it and do it later. Just do it now while I'm doing mine.
Then I have yellow orange. Again, I don't have a yellow orange in this bin. I can go over here to the box and look for yellow orange. We said it's like a tangerine color. Sometimes it's called mac and cheese. Here it is right here, yellow orange. Now what's important is that when you're doing your regular basic colors, you make sure you're not using intermediate colors by accident. So blue should not look like blue-green, or orange should not be yellow-orange. Okay, so this is going to be a lighter orange because it's mixed with yellow. There we go. All right, I have regular yellow now. Yellow green I do have in here. I'm just going to use it. Okay, it's that bright lime green color. Regular green, I got it. Blue green. Now you might also be saying, Ms. Sikowski, you keep going to your fancy crayon box. I don't have a fancy crayon box. What am I supposed to do? Well, you can just use those two colors. So if it's blue green, I can use blue and green and create blue green. So I'm going to add some blue. I'm going to add some green. I'm going to mix them together to create my blue green color. Okay, this works with the paint sticks really well. It will also work really well with oil pastels. If you're using it with crayons, I'll show you that on one of the other intermediate colors. So I have my blue here still in my hand. I'm going to use that for blue. Blue violet, there's our indigo color. It is an intermediate color, which is why I crossed them out of Roy G. Biv. Okay, indigo is, like we said, a blue purple. You may find one that says indigo. You may find one that says blue violet. This one says indigo. Remember, they're the same thing, okay? Do you see how it's kind of bluish, kind of purplish? Okay, then I have my regular purple. Remember, violet and purple are the same color. It's just a different name for the same color. And then red violet. I'll show you this one with crayon. Okay, so I have red. I have purple. Since I don't have any fancy paint stick that's red violet, and I'm looking in my box, oh my gosh, I can't find a red violet. Whenever you're mixing with crayon, the trick is to go lightly. So I'm going to lightly color with red, and I'll lightly go over it with purple. And you can just mix them together by going back and forth to kind of get your in-between color. Is it perfectly perfect? No, it's wax crayon. But if you do have those fancy ones, you'll see, here's my red violet. I'm going to put this right over here next to it. It's not that different from what I created by mixing my two together. So that's it. Once your color wheel is created and filled in, you're going to be all set for us to talk about how we mix those hues and those primary colors next week on your Mixing Secondary Colors pages. All right, I hope that this is helpful. I hope that when I say the words hue, tint, shade, tone, value, all of these things, you're going to be like, all right, Ms. Sikowski, we're on the same page. I know what you're talking about. And now you're done. If it's wet and you used a paint stick like I did, or even if you used watercolor paint, do not close it right away, all right? Let it dry. If you used oil pastel, I recommend taking a scrap piece of paper, just any paper you have laying around, and placing it in between before you close it, because as you know, oil pastels are smudgy, especially for the first couple weeks, and then eventually they'll dry out and stop smudging. So you can do that, and if you just use crayon or colored pencil, you can just close it, and I'll see you guys next week for color mixing. Bye!